Met the love of my life, and I almost divorced his ass in 6 months, being real
Mm.
stupid and silly. Actually, we both filed for divorce. Let's talk about the struggles of being a new young wife. First thing I can tell you as a new wife, I know this is gonna be a hard practice, but shut your mouth. Shut up. Now I know some of y'all gonna say, "Oh, you gotta shut up because you married. What is he silencing you?" No, sis, I'm not saying shut up. I'm saying pick your battles. And sometimes
Damn.
pick them quietly. Understand when you became one with your husband, that means you became one. Y'all are one. You have to literally die to your old self. You don't want to do that yet. What does die to my old self mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm very much still alive. Simply means adjustments. You got to make a lot of adjustments. Again, heavy on your one now. Know your spicy attitude isn't passion, it's a nasty attitude. That has to die for your husband. Confrontational spirits hidden by passion. You're not passionate, sis. You just got an attitude problem.
What's going on, people? This is your boy Say One's History. As always, you are watching the Male's Perspective. You guys, please make sure that you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. This way, you're updated for all cool new content. No fuss, no muss. You know what's going on. It just is what it is. Just like this video today. It is what it is, man. And we are going to be talking about famous divorces. People, women out there trying to get that money. But what I'm noticing is men are actually becoming wiser. They're getting prenuptial agreements and they are putting their money in their mother's name. So I'm noticing that men are just becoming a lot smarter because women are very hypergamous and they're about the bag, as they should be, just like they should be for their man anyway. But that's a whole different story. Anyway, we ain't going to get into that. I want you to watch these videos. Let me know what you think. As always, you guys, and let's get into it. I'm not going to waste it. Let's go.
Steph Curry ain't the only one. Akon's wife just filed for divorce. After 29 years, I'm telling you, it's an epidemic. Females are the highest rate of divorces in the world. They just like to go for the bag. And she was going for a big bag of $100 million. After extensive research, they found out that Akon only had $10,000 in his bank account. Good luck with the half. $5,000 is your subsequent prize for 29 years of that nigga dicking you down. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Keep your money in your mother's name. Smart move, Akon.
So let me ask you something. Like, genuinely, like, if a woman is with you and you are taking care of her and providing for her for 29 years, do you think that should get half of what you have? You know, do you think she should get half? We know Akon is essentially the A side. He's been the one taking care of everything as far as when it comes to like making the money. And I'm not saying that she doesn't have a part to play in his success. That's not what I'm saying at all. But do you think it is worth half of his wealth? I don't think so. I think a woman should be compensated for her time because like I'll give you an example. Like with my wife, man. My wife is going to be helping me take care of the videos and things like that. And I think that she should absolutely be compensated. If I'm getting like 20 million or something like that, she should be getting at least 3 or 4, something like that. But to say that she deserves half of what I work for when I've actually been doing this for 10 plus years before she even got here, that just seems a little bit ridiculous to me. But that's just me. I don't know, you guys. With that being said, let's get on to the next and let me know what you think. Let's go.
I want to give some credit to Akon. His wife of 29 years filed for divorce and she demanded $100 million. 29 years of marriage, $100 million.
It's
And
crazy.
guess what? Akon is smart. Akon is always preaching about, all the benefits of Africa,
Financial
all the
literacy,
wealthiness of Africa,
Africa.
and how we need to go to Africa to build our own businesses. He's always doing all this entrepreneurial great shit, especially with Africa. I love that about Akon. Akon is a very smart man, amazing artist, and he's always preaching that how can black folks get their money and
Be the
become
boss.
bosses.
Yep.
And I
There we
love
can
that.
be a
And
boss.
that's
Yep.
why Akon is a boss, because his wife Well, ex-wife now trying to get this 100 million finds out that there's only $10,000 that she can get, only about 10,000 because Kanye put his shit in his mother's name, so she doesn't get a fucking thing.
I think you meant to say
That's a
Akon.
win for us. Good job, Akon. I'm gonna sing a little song. My shit is locked up, it won't come out. Locked up, it won't come out. Locked up, it won't come out. You can't get my.
Now let me just go here. Here's another thing that a lot of women don't really appreciate or understand is that a lot of men feel the way that I do. I'm just the person that's actually saying it out loud because I don't give a fuck. but a lot of men feel this way. But they just won't say it either because of their jobs or, don't want to hurt like feelings and they're in marriages and stuff like that. Men are not saying that women don't deserve anything if there's a divorce and it doesn't work out. But do you deserve half of my life when I've been doing my life before you? And the majority of the time when you were with me, I was taking care of you too. It just doesn't seem fair. And a lot of guys, they will not say that. They will be quiet. But in the back of their head, they thinking, yeah, I'm not with that.
Alicia Keys is filing for a divorce. Okay? Something about her husband having a baby on the way. But let me say this. We remember like yesterday. Okay? You thought your time was not going to come. You cannot, and I'm going to tell all women this. You cannot build a home on another woman's tears, not a happy home. You can build it, but I promise you it's going to come down. Because what you do to others going to be done to you. Okay? So this is showing somebody right now. You may think you won, but I promise you, your time going to come too. You going to be that other woman. You going to feel that other woman pain. Okay? So guess what? I don't feel sorry for her. Yes, I love her music. Yes, I love her personality. But one thing I'm gonna do is always call out the wrong. You didn't get that man in the right way. Now is your time to feel that pain. That
So I really don't disagree with her too much in regards to what she was saying. Um, I feel like I heard that she did not go through with the divorce and they're working it out. So I'm happy for them. I'm glad that they are working it out. But with that being said, this is just one of those things. When you marry a man of that status, regardless of who you are, and I know that this is Alicia Keys, but he is going to have more options than you because there are more women out there that want him and that he will be willing to deal with than there are men out there who are willing to deal with you. And the reason I say it like that is because those men that Alicia Keys would be looking for would be of such a high status that they're even going to have more options than Alicia Keys. So it's just the way the scale is actually created, and it's not in your favor as far as when you get older in age and you create more wealth. It just your options for men as far as women are concerned drop, and the options for men in dating women, their pool actually opens. So you guys get it up front, and when I say you guys, I'm speaking of women. They get the admiration, the affection from men and stuff. They get it up front. Okay, men actually have to work for it, and they get it on the back end. It just is what it is. I didn't make up the rules, you guys. But on to the next one.
Because we have no concept when we get married that we are actually making a commitment to another person. We're making a commitment to ourselves, that our vows actually mean something, and that when we get married, we have responsibilities and roles to make it work. As women, we are
Yes.
incredibly short-sighted, and all we think about in getting married is the wedding, the dress, and the party. Have no concept that we are actually stepping into a huge responsibility and a huge commitment that we are making to keep our word and follow through. And women will be the first to argue, my husband broke his vows. My husband does not follow his vows. He's the one that's not committed. Again, that is a projection of ourselves and our own lack of commitment in our marriage.
Oh, wow.
That we have no concept that our vows even mean something. We want to look good, sound good at the wedding, and that's it. For us as women, marriage is the next thing that we are checking off our list of what we think will make us happy in life.
You know, when I got married to my wife and I said my vows, I had said this to my wife. I told her, and I looked into her eyes, and her father was there, and her sisters, and, you know, all of her family. And I told her that I would honor her. And I told her that I would be there for her and that I would stick by her side regardless of whatever. And when I took that, I almost took it in a sense as I was saying the oath or pledging my allegiance to the U.S. Army when I had first signed up. And men do take that stuff serious, because when we get married, we understand that there is going to be another person under us that we need to cover. I'm not saying that women can't cover themselves, but men have a capacity to them to where we're able to withstand the rain, brush it off, and deal with it a lot better than women can. We're not saying that they can't. We're saying that we're more equipped to deal with it, you know? And there are some cases where a lot of women actually don't really take their vows seriously. And you can see it in the actual divorce statistics. It just is what it is. I don't make up the rules, you guys. I'm really saddened to see it like this, but I'm hopeful. And I think with more content like this, I think women will start, you know, slowly but surely checking out this stuff, and some will take it to heart. So maybe those women that are listening to these types of videos and podcasts will see it for what it is and actually take some advice from it, and a lot of these statistics start to change. But we'll see.
Met the love of my life, and I almost divorced his ass in 6 months, being real stupid and silly. Actually, we both filed for divorce. Let's talk about the struggles of being a new young wife. First thing I can tell you, as a new wife, I know this is going to be a hard practice, but shut your mouth. Shut up. Now, I know some of y'all going to say, oh, you got to shut up because you married? What is he silencing you? No, sis, I'm not saying shut up. I'm saying pick your battles, and sometimes pick them quietly. Understand, when you became one with your husband, that means you became one. Y'all are one. You have to literally die to your old self. You don't want to do that yet. What does die to my old self mean? Because I'm very much still alive. Simply means adjustments. You got to make a lot of adjustments. Again, heavy on your one now. Know your spicy attitude isn't passion. It's a nasty attitude. That has to die for your husband. Confrontational spirits hidden by passion. You're not passionate, sis. You just got an attitude problem. Lose it. Quick gem. Successful top tier men, they just want peace. They don't want anything else. You can't do anything else for them besides bring them peace. Mistake I made, me and my husband going through issues, telling my friends about it. Don't do it. Dying to yourself is hard, okay? You spent your whole life talking, probably talking too much, getting the last word, being overly opinionated, being emotionally unstable. Some people settle for that, but this person married you, they're not going for it. Passive aggressive attitude. Most Black men, when you do that, it reminds them of somewhat what they grew up with their mom, their siblings. They married you. They don't want to feel with the trauma from childhood. And I'm about to say something that's probably gonna hurt y'all feelings. Black successful men do marry Black women. But my girls, let's be for real. Let's talk about it. I already know, sis, life was not easy for us. And along the way, we formed a little neck roll that we can't get rid of. Because life was hard doesn't give you the right to be rude, a bitch, confrontational, nasty attitude, uncooperative, any of those things. Married now, sis, so you're joining with one. It should be a peaceful harmony, right? Which means you have to die to yourself with all the ugly things that do not create peace. Let's talk about the maybe I rule. If there's conflict going on in your marriage, in your home, silently to yourself, not out loud to your husband, ask yourself, maybe I am understanding this wrong. Maybe I am processing this wrong. Maybe I am being overly emotional. Maybe I am not listening. If you silently ask yourself the maybe I's and then go in a corner and process them before you respond, you'll see that maybe I can do something to meet him more in the middle versus
I gotta cut it off right there. I'm sorry, you guys. She's speaking nothing but facts. I'm gonna give you a little story of a previous relationship that I was in. I noticed with this woman that I was in a relationship with, anytime I would tell her something, she would stop and she would listen to what I would say. But she was so filled. It was almost like she was on a stove and she was a teapot and she was boiling until the whistle actually spouted up. Like I can see that in her. And when the whistle spouted, that was her indication that she just needed to make a decision. She needed to do something. And that's for often of what I see with women. And it's not just making a decision like the story I'm telling you about. Women can actually get to that boiling point. They can make irrational decisions. They can say things that they don't really mean out of anger. They can actually, do things that they can't take back. These are things that are emotional reactions. And this is why men actually survey you and analyze you before they get into a serious committed situation with you, i.e., marriage. They will date you, they will have sex with you, they will go out with you, they may even spend some money on you. But a committed marriage is something entirely different. What that man is actually essentially saying by marrying you is, you are my peace. I find value in you, and I'm willing to accept the things that come with you, even if they are negative. And men, when they see women, sometimes they're actually just there for a good time, a good night, but not a lifelong situation, you know? And unfortunately, it just is what it is, and it happens. Men are very serious about connecting themselves to a woman, especially if she is not peaceful.
I would never tell, I work with women. I would never tell a woman to walk through that in the same frame of mind I was in when I did it.
And when you say that, but what frame of mind was that?
Emotional.
What do you mean by that in particular?
I was very, very hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I was very angry. And
thinking from emotion and not logic, and gave away the biggest prize, one of the biggest gifts in her life. But let's keep going.
remember like when I made like the decision, I was like hysterically crying on the phone with my attorney. That was not the person I should have been on the phone with when, like, that's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, I was hysterically crying. And I was not in any position to make that decision. I was extremely emotionally intoxicated. We can be intoxicated with our emotions. The truth about the matter is that if I had different people in my ear at that time, I would not have made that decision. No.
Wow.
I wouldn't. And that's the truth. I try my very best at this point in my life to be what I didn't have in that moment. Because I think that women were like, I'm an extremely emotional person. People that know me know that about me. I'm the kind of person that like, okay, I feel so strong, and I can ruminate. I can get so lost in my thoughts. I know a lot of women are like that. Like we're a lot, not all of us, right? But some of us are. Just like a lot of men can be like that. But I know women specifically, there will be moments where they'll be like, I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to be done. I can't stand this. He don't do this. He don't do that. Blah, blah. I would never tell.
All right, you guys, that is Samantha Lee. She was married previously to Tyrese, if you guys didn't know. And I think she made an irrational decision. I think she was emotional. She was hurt by whatever was going on or whatever she found out, whatever the case may be. And she made an emotional decision. And now she's going to have to live with that for the rest of her life. It is what it is. I think these women, They have, like she said, these lawyers and these other people in her ear telling her all these different things. You'll be much happier with this and stuff like that. But to me, it just seems like Tyrese is a good dude. He may have his issues just like any man, but overall, he's a good dude, and he came from poverty, so he knows what it feels like to be in poverty. And when you have that type of backstory as far as your mindset is concerned, you are not the person that's spending a whole bunch of money buying these new things. I remember in one video, I heard him talking about her wanting to get the baby, something like that was $10,000 as far as her clothes. And he was like, I don't even spend $10,000 on myself. He was like, why are we spending this much money when we can be investing it? And that's the mindset of a boss. That's a mindset of somebody who's thinking about longevity. And she's thinking about just right now. So I don't know, you guys. Let me know what you think inside the comment box. These women, do you think they're just divorcing? Do you think it's a situation where they're finding their man cheating and they want a divorce? Do you think they're moving too fast and rushing into situations as far as divorce is concerned? Or do you think it's a situation where, hey, these men are famous, they're rich, they're celebrities. You should have expected them to actually, be in little situationships and, just shut your mouth. Let me know what you think, people, whether good or bad. I appreciate your opinions. Drop those inside the comment box. I will holler at you guys later on the next video. And with that being said, I am out. Peace. You've made it to the end of this video, which basically means that we're best friends now. And best friends subscribe to best friends channels. And they like their videos too. So, I don't make the rules. It is what it is. You got to take that up under the Best Friend Act, code -7223-002. Write a subscription and subscribe.